highway is long, the wheels turning round. Pack up the cook stove and the bowls. Arlo and I, we hit the open road. Arlo and I are on the road.
All right, well, I'm back in the kitchen again today, and today I have this fun fruit, and this is called a Buddha's hand. And it smells so good. My daughter was at Whole Foods the other day, and she brought me this as a gift, and she thought it would be fun for me to use in one of my videos, so that's what I'm going to do today. Now, a Buddha's hand is a type of citrus. It's actually called a Buddha's hand Citron, and it's a really interesting fruit, and it smells. Oh, it smells so good. It smells so sweet and so much like lemon, or a combination of lemon and orange. It smells really good. And well, that's a good thing, because the Buddha's hand is often used in perfumes. And it's used in foods where you can take advantage of that very perfumey citrus smell and flavor. Usually you'll see Buddha's hand either candied with lots of sugar, or infused into a vodka, or made into a syrup, or you could preserve this like you would a preserved lemon. There's so many different things to do with this. And what's interesting about this is really there's no fruit inside of it. There's no like juicy part of the fruit inside of it. It's really just solid. It's like solid white pith, just like you would if you were to cut a lemon in half. That white pithy area that's right underneath the color, the zest of the lemon, is all white, and that's what it looks like all the way through this. And we're going to cut this open in a couple minutes here, and we'll see what it looks like. Now, I really think that this is the coolest looking thing, and it does sort of look like a hand. It's supposed to, when it's closed, actually, it's supposed to look like the praying hands of Buddha, and this is in its open stage, where it's wide open, and you can see all these little fingers here. But often when you see recipes for the Buddha's hand being candied or used as an infusion and things, they cut it up into little pieces, and I think that's a shame. I really want to, I don't know, kind of keep that look of this in the jar. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it into maybe 3 or 4 large pieces, and I'm going to put it in the jar. I don't know if it's going to be this one or a larger one, and then I think it would kind of look like a octopus in a jar, you know, like preserved in formaldehyde or something like that. But if you can imagine, that's my my goal today. Is I'm going to candy this with sugar, and I'm going to put it in the jar and have it kind of retain its shape. So, and then when I want to eat it, I can just pull out a finger. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to weigh our Buddha's hand, and we'll see what this is. Okay, so it's 12.6, let's see. Yeah, so it's 12.68 pounds, or let's see what it is in grams. 360 grams. So what I like to do is I like to use equal amounts of the citrus as I do to sugar. So we're going to use 360 grams of sugar when we go to cook this later. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this into some pieces here, and we'll see what it looks like. Now look at that. Look how it's just that solid white pith there. So maybe I can cut it into quarters. Just like that. Yeah. I think this one will be better. So I switched out my other jar. So this is a quart jar. We'll use this one, and I think all these might fit in there. If not, I'm going to do maybe 3 of them in there. The first step, now that we have this cut up, is we're going to soak this in some water. So I like to soak the citrus in the water for, I don't know, approximately an hour to 2 hours, and then we'll come back and we'll finish the rest of the recipe. So there's our sugar, 360 grams of sugar, and then that'll be ready for when we come back. So our Buddha's hand has been soaking in the water for about just a little bit over an hour. But I did save one of these fingers so I can try it here on the camera. And let's try just a little slice of that. Here we go. And this is the Buddha's hand that's completely raw. That's actually pretty good. Much more pleasant to eat than, say, like a piece of lemon rind, which would be really sour and really bitter. This really has a little bit of sweetness to it and a lot less bitterness. There's a little bit of bitterness there, but nowhere near it would be, say, like in a lemon or even an orange rind. It's actually pretty tasty. Okay, well, like I said, our Buddha's hand has been soaking in the water for just over an hour, and I have that right here. Now I'm going to take this to the stove, and I'm going to start simmering this in the water for about 10-15 minutes. So while our Buddha's hand is simmering, I just collected the rest of our ingredients for the next step. So I have that 360 grams of sugar. I have 3/4 of a cup of water. We may add a little bit more. And then I have the juice of 1 lemon. So we'll just get that. This happens to be a Meyer lemon, but you can use a regular lemon. It'll work just fine for that. And I'm just going to get a spoon and get those seeds out of there, and then we'll have everything we need for to start candying our Buddha's hand once they've finished simmering in the water. Now our Buddha's hand has been simmering for about 20 minutes, and you can see how this has become almost sort of a translucent kind of a color. So that's exactly what we're looking for. So I'm going to transfer these into a smaller pot. Just like that. And now in our smaller pot, we have of course, our Buddha's hands. Let's see, I can put this in here better. And then our sugar. That juice of 1 lemon. And then this is 3/4 of a cup of water. Okay, now we just want to slowly dissolve all the sugar, and then we're going to let this simmer in our sugar syrup for it could be quite a while until it becomes nice and thick and our Buddha's hand is nice and candied. This could take up to an hour or so, so we're going to slowly simmer this. Wow, look at that. Look how beautiful those look. Now those have been simmering in this sugar syrup for about hour and 10 minutes, something like that, hour and 15 minutes. Now I'm going to take these and I'm going to transfer them to the jar, and then I'm going to pour the syrup, the remaining syrup, back over them, and then we will let them sit in the syrup, and then we'll enjoy them later. All right, there it is. There is our candied Buddha's hand citron. Look at that. That's exactly what I was trying to do. Now, if you could tell, I actually went back to the original jar that I had, which was a little bit smaller because that citrus hand, that Buddha's hand, just really shrunk down to a smaller size. So it actually fills up this jar a little bit better. But that's exactly kind of the look I wanted it to be. Kind of looks like a yellow squid or a golden squid inside the jar, in a jar of formaldehyde or something. Anyway, which is kind of what I had envisioned it to be in the end. We'll be able to take large pieces of this out of here when it's done, once it cools down and all that, and it'll be a delicious candied citrus, which we could use for lots of things. We can use the syrup for sure for many things as well. We can mix that citrusy Buddha's hand flavored syrup for cocktails. We can use it for just to put in a sparkling water with ice, kind of like we did with the elderberry flower syrup kind of cordial that we made in the middle of the summer. That would be a great idea to do with this too. But we can use that syrup for lots of things. Like I said, especially cocktails and drinks and things like that would be delicious. And then the actual candied Buddha's hand, we can add that to many things that we're cooking. Desserts, obviously, first thing would be perfect for that. But it looks so cool. And I'm just going to, like I said, let this cool down. And then we will try this another day. Can't wait. And my daughter is going to be excited to try this too, so I can't wait to share it with her. Now, even in the fading light of the afternoon here, it still looks beautiful and vibrant in here, and I can't wait to experiment with this and try this in all kinds of recipes. Now, I'd be interested in what you would use something like this for. Write down in the comments below what you think you would use this candied Buddha's hand, and what type of recipes would you use it for. Anyway, if you like this video, please like, please subscribe. That always helps us a lot, and we will see you in the next one. All right, bye-bye.